Hi everyone. In this video we're looking at the second of three blogs, and that is how we generate views from 3D objects that we might have drawn in AutoCAD. We're just looking at a bearing from a fag catalog. In the normal viewports we saw that it's quite limited in its presentation styles. Now we're going to deal with the solid viewports. You won't find them on the layout tab. That's the typical place from which you would generate your viewports. Instead you would look towards the home tab of the 3D modeling workspace. Under the modeling tools there's a drop down, and then you'll find three of these commands. The one is solid view or sol view, there's sol draw, and then there is sol profile. We'll have a look at the difference between them now. It's important when you generate these that they must be solid viewports, and for that reason you mustn't just generate one of the views after you've placed this a solid view. You must do everything in one go. So I'm going to demonstrate this now. Okay, so we are in the viewports layer. If we draw something on that viewports layer, I just want to see if it's visible. That might be the size of a viewport. I'm going to switch off the object snap so I don't snap to other elements. I'm going to invoke the solid viewport command. I'm going to generate that as per some UCS, in this case the world UCS, with a scale of 1. Specify the center of the view, and then after that we can specify the first corner of the viewport, and then enter the name for the view. I'm just going to use top, and then immediately go to an orthographic view. Specify the side of the viewport, so that's going to want to snap onto the the midpoint of this side over here. We'll project that across, use that as the center, and that would be the size of the viewport. Maybe call that left side. And you can similarly generate some of the other ones, auxiliary and sections. It's best to do them all in one go. So I would not recommend you lock these to start with, but rather zoom into where you want to be. Then if you do an auxiliary view, it will ask you to choose an inclined plane, a side to view that from, and then where to draw that, center of the viewport, size of the viewport, then what do you want to call that, auxiliary, and then lastly a section. Again, the first point of the plane, you'd have to zoom in, of course. And it's very difficult to organize that. And then enter. Now after that's been done, these viewports are solid viewports, so you can then generate using the sol draw command whichever one of those you would like to draw. it doesn't like drawing blocks, so you'd have to explode your blocks as well. But then after you've exploded those blocks, you'll be able to generate those drawings. And there you can see how it's sectioning away the side of that bearing. Same thing over there. The same thing over there. Right, so that then generates for you those views of that element. And if you open that viewport, of course you'll be able to lock it. Let's have a look at the layers that were created. There you can see that it recognizes that you've got your top, your auxiliary views. It's got dimensions, hidden lines and visible lines, and there we can see the section as well. So if we look at the in other words, there were lines that were created in addition to what you've already got within your drawing. So something like that, PHC6C2. If you had to make that into a hidden line, line style, then you can load something like a hidden line in. But you can see it's quite a mission to get all of this done. PH6C2 must be hidden. PH6C2 hidden 2. PH-6C2. There we go. And then you can see the sorts of lines that they would create. Now, yet another complication about doing your drawings this way is that in your model space, it would now have generated these elements. And so your model space will become quite a complicated space to work in, and you might have to end up using something like your model states when you are drawing to manipulate these. So you really have to have your wits about you when you are using these solid viewports. I would say it is a older technology, and you should rather consider using the modern method that we use, which I'll demonstrate in the next blog. Until then, enjoy AutoCAD.